I want to bring in now Congressman Eric Swalwell from the great state of California, also running for governor and made that announcement. Congratulations. Thanks for
Don, thanks
joining
for
me.
having me. Of course.
And good luck, as you know. Well, how do you think Donald Trump is feeling today? Maybe I should ask you, how are James Comey and Letitia James feeling today?
Well, they're certainly feeling validated in declaring their innocence, so affirmatively and so loudly as they did. And it was nonsense when he went after Comey. It was nonsense when he went after Tish James and then Adam Schiff and others. And it'll be nonsense next week when some new name who's been a longtime enemy of the president is investigated or indicted. But this is what he does. Don, it just happens to be that the most thin-skinned, insecure person in the world, coincidentally, is also president of the United States. So that's what we end up seeing, right? He weaponizes the DOJ to go after his enemies. If you make a joke about him, he takes you off the air. If you're a blue state governor and you speak out against him, he pulls your state's cancer research funding, as we've seen in California. That's just who he is. And the more we can stack up victories like this, we make him smaller and we make ourselves bigger.
What do you think about? We just played the soundbite of Caroline Leavitt saying this was, this was dismissed on a technicality. They don't believe it was a technicality. Someone being hired unlawfully or appointed unlawfully, as the judge ruled, that doesn't sound like a technicality to me. That sounds like a legal blunder.
Well, yes, and frankly, the judge did them a favor because the jury was going to swiftly acquit these two individuals. And then what was she going to do? Was she going to insult the juries and say they, the jurors of their peers, the people in their community under our, Constitution who get to cast judgment? What are they a technicality too? Again, it's always something with these folks. It's never, looking inward at your own responsibility or culpability, for this corruption.
Yeah. I want to play this. We'll talk a little bit more about this. Before I get to that, what do you think about the refiling of these? A waste of time. They said they're going to do it. There's going to be hurdles. Number one, on the Comey case, the statute of limitations will run out. Yeah. And then also they have to find a prosecutor or someone who wants to do this. And also that person has to be appointed legally. So it seems like there are hurdles, but I wouldn't put anything past this administration, Congressman.
Well, I would tell any prosecutor who's looking at that, like, how much do you care about your bar card, right? Like, at some point, you cannot be protected by the Department of Justice if your state bar believes you are bringing cases that you cannot prove beyond a reasonable doubt. That, as a former prosecutor, that's the standard, Don. It's not. So just so your viewers know, and I think they'd appreciate just kind of like a walkthrough of how this works. Yes, to get a grand jury indictment, it's essentially more likely or not did the individual do it. That's the grand jury standard. But the prosecutor standard to even go to the grand jury is not, can I get an indictment? It's, can I prove beyond a reasonable doubt to all 12 jurors that this person's guilty? If you start by saying, I can only get an indictment, but I probably can't prove this to a jury, then you're not allowed to bring it. And so they all put their bar cards at risk if they do this, meaning that they would not be able to practice law like Rudy Giuliani if they know they can't prove it and they still try and do it.
I want to turn now to Senator Mark Kelly. The Pentagon investigating him now because of that video put out by service members, lawmakers who are service members. They're asking to have, I think he's going to go in front of a military, is he court-martialed or whatever? The Pentagon says it's investigating Senator Mark Kelly over video urging troops to defy illegal orders. Let me just play Ruben Gallego's response, and then I want to hear yours. Here it is.
Hey, this is Ruben Gallego. I'm traveling through Arizona right now, and I just received the news that the Department of Defense is starting investigation against my seatmate, Mark Kelly. This is fucking insane. We should all point out how fucking insane this is. And, these guys are trying to say that they're not acting like fascists. They're not trying to give as much power to this president as a king, and they should stop acting like it. Mark Kelly's a patriot. There's no reason why they're going after him. He was doing his duty and just reminding people about their rights as service members. And, Secretary Hegseth, all these guys, fuck you guys. You're not going to be able to scare us. We have a right to defend the Constitution of the United States. We have a right tell other service members that they have a right to ignore illegal orders, and you're not going to be able to intimidate us.
I mean,
I love that
next time
guy.
you should say it how he
I
really
fucking
feels.
love that guy. I'll tell you why I fucking love that guy, because he says that not just with conviction, he says it with credibility. Because I want you to know that guy, first in his family to go to college, never slept on a bed until he went to Harvard, and actually left Harvard to go to the battlefield in Iraq as an enlisted Marine. So he can talk tough like that because nothing he has seen in this political realm is tougher than what he saw on the battlefield. So I don't think anyone can say it better than Ruben. And to me, the only reason you go after Mark Kelly, if he's telling soldiers you don't have to follow an unlawful order, and they don't, is if you intend to carry out unlawful orders, right? Like if you don't intend to carry out unlawful orders, why do you care that somebody would say that? So you just told on yourself by making this a thing.
It seems like Democrats have backed the Republicans into a corner, or Donald Trump, because basically they're telling people to ignore the Constitution and not to follow the law or the military code of conduct. Am I wrong on that?
Yes, is it? They're telling on themselves now because they're like, no, we want to do that, and so stop telling the troops to do that. What gives me hope, though, Don, and I talk to service members all the time, and they tell me that I don't appreciate enough, and the public doesn't appreciate enough, that while Congress is not a check on the president anymore, and the judiciary at the Supreme Court is hardly a check, military members have told me we can be a check in full order. And so they're essentially saying we're not going to betray our oath to the Constitution because this guy tells us to. And that, while it's not codified that way, like I said, they're not a branch of government on their own. Their honor and integrity might just save us.
Let me just play this real quick for you, and I want your response. Here's Caroline Levitt on Mark Kelly, the investigation.
Investigation into Mark Kelly. What do you make of his response that it's just intimidation?
The White House is supportive of the Department of War's investigation into Senator Mark Kelly, and I think what Senator Mark Kelly was actually trying to do was intimidate the 1.3 million active duty service members who are currently serving in our United States Armed Forces with that video that he and his Democrat colleagues put out. Senator Mark Kelly well knows the rules of the military and the respect that one must have for the chain of command, and that all lawful orders are presumed to be legal by our service members. You can't have a functioning military if there is disorder and chaos within the ranks, and that's what these Democrat members were encouraging. It's very
Okay, first of all, I don't want to be Ruben Gallego, but what the F is she talking about? Because I'm not
She doesn't know.
Go on.
And Don, I'm not coming on your show again if you play one more clip from her.
Okay. I want you to respond.
I'm always dumber after I listen to her. But yes. What they're trying to do, though, is they're trying to prevent the next Mark Kelly from speaking up. And really, they're trying to prevent a Republican from breaking ranks, right? So it's a message. So when he launched this investigation into me 2 weeks ago, it wasn't a coincidence that he was always seeing these Epstein files about to be voted on. And so what he was doing was, yes, he's going after me punitively in retaliation, but he's also, the twin aim is to send a message to Thomas Massey or Lauren Boebert, like, I can also come after you. And so what they're doing here is they figure that, Democrats are going to speak out against them, but they know that the second a Republican starts to speak out, that's when it really cracks. And privately, I hear Republicans are concerned about the president. It's just, do they cross that courage Rubicon and say it publicly?
That's what I wanted to go to next quickly. I want to talk to you about this and about your run real quickly. But first, I want to know, because this is a club that Letitia James knows, James Comey knows, John Bolton knows, and others who are political rivals, and you. How are you feeling about your case? How do you feel now?
Again, I'm in the same drawer as Schiff and James and Cook. It's nonsense. But I know that there will be more who he wants to put into that drawer because we have gone after him. But Don, he's doing it because he thinks that we're going to shrink, go silent, hide under the bed, and I'm not. I only like to play on one side of the ball, and that's on offense. And so you have to stay on that side if you're going to protect the most vulnerable in our community. It's also the only language he understands. And we have a governor in our state right now who plays offense. And when Trump, comes after Californians, he doesn't send an 8-page strongly worded letter. He sues on behalf of Californians and wins in the courts. When Texas tried to, fuck over our chances of winning the midterms by, rigged districting and taking 5 seats, we went to the voters and we got 5 seats back. And so the show don't tell style is the only way that you can, take on this guy and protect the most vulnerable that you represent.
So listen, this is the last thing I want to talk to you about, and don't take this the wrong way. I'm not trying to be dismissive, but there are mixed feelings about you running for governor because people love you as a congressman. I think that you're a very effective congressman, and that we need representation in Washington like you. So the thing is like, okay, yes, I would like him to be governor of California, but I also like him as a congressman. So you obviously you think it's more effective to be the governor of California than you do to be a congressman?
At this moment, right now, yes, this is an existential crisis for Californians. And the next governor has 2 jobs: to keep Donald Trump, one, out of our homes, streets, and lives, because he has declared war on Californians who are running through farm fields where they work, who have troops in our streets, who see their cancer research funding being pulled by this guy. But 2, there is a cost crisis in our state. And as a parent of 3 little kids, married to a woman who works very hard, I know that you should not have to wait until you're 40 years old to be able to buy your first home. And so I will attack that cost crisis, but be a modernizing force also for the state. Don, I love my job. I would love to be in the majority with Speaker Jeffries and the team, but California is the greatest country in the world. We are a nation state, and it needs a fighter protector, but also somebody who can make sure when you say we're the 4th largest economy in the world, it means something to somebody because they have a stake in it, they have a share in it, they have skin in the game. So that's why I'm running.
Okay, so the people are very positive. We need him as our governor. He's a badass. Someone says Governor Swalwell. Another person says go Eric.
We're working on.
So Congressman, thank you very much. It's good to see you. We appreciate your time, and good luck to you. Okay? Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Tom.
Eric Swalwell. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Your support means the world to us. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss a show. We're live every weekday at 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. Eastern Time with new clips dropping at 2 p. and 8 p. And if you want even more Don Lemon Show content, join the Lemon community. Members get exclusive posts, behind-the-scenes videos, and live chats just for you. So hit the join button or visit our channel page to sign up. Thanks again for all your love and your support, and I'll see you next time.